Welcome to this week's Survivor Story. Today we have Steve Buderbra with us here. And thank you so much, Steve, for being willing to jump on and talk to us about your story.
No problem. Excited to do so.
Awesome. So we'll jump in. Our first question is about your diagnosis. So if you're comfortable, if you could share a little bit about your diagnosis with us.
I was diagnosed with germ cell carcinoma, which came to form as testicular cancer. It was aggressive, but it was able to be, removed fairly quickly.
Thank you for sharing your diagnosis. Obviously, I know cancer can happen at different times in people's lives. If you're comfortable sharing, would you talk a little bit about how old you are when you were diagnosed, as well as maybe where you were living, if you were with family, and kind of how that shaped your day-to-day at the time?
I was actually 3 years old. This was in 1989. I was obviously living with my parents at the time. My grandparents were close, and my brother and sister. It affected everyone in obviously a negative manner. A lot of people thought that I wasn't gonna live after the diagnosis. Had pastors and church members coming to visit me, family coming to visit me, and a lot of what I remember from then, because it was a long time ago, was feeling confused about what was going on. My parents did explain to me what type of situation I was in, but it really didn't register till we started getting a whole lot of testing done at the hospital, and I was there at Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, off and on for testing for about 6 months before the full diagnosis was made.
Obviously, you were really young at that time. Being only three, like you said, I'm sure that is confusing when you're just a kid. So those emotions, I'm sure, are difficult, and I can empathize too with your family. That must have been really challenging. I think it is different when you're a kid, but I'm sure some of those feelings, everyone at every age feels. So ACS focuses mostly on cancer support, kind of transportation to treatment, helping funding treatment, and things like that. But given your experience, I would also love to hear if there's other ways that we can support those in our lives who are dealing with a cancer diagnosis at any age.
Definitely, support for me came strictly from my dad. That was really positive. He was the strong one for me. He said, "This is nothing. You're fine. Don't worry. Everything's good." Those type of that type of messaging. Being supportive in a positive manner to people who are going through something that is life threatening, like cancer, is utterly the most important thing. If I could say something else that would be supportive for them, would be treating them as you normally would treat them. They're not different people anymore. It doesn't make them any different than they were the day before they got their diagnosis. So treating them as if they're going to break down or lose their cool mentally in any kind of way doesn't help them in any fashion. It's treat them as you would want to be treated if you were in the same situation.
Absolutely, Steve. I think that's great. And I really like that recognition that a diagnosis doesn't change who you are, all the great things about you as a person. And yeah, especially for a kiddo, too. I think just treating things as normal, treating somebody with love and that compassion and that positivity that it sounds like you got from your dad is incredible. So, really, really heartwarming to hear that you had that support in that way. So, appreciate that insight as to how we can better support people dealing with cancer diagnosis in their lives. And a big thank you for being willing to share your story with us. We're really excited to be raising money for ACS this month. So we'll have the donation link down below in the comments. If you're able to support and able to share, definitely do. But again, we appreciate those insights from you as well, so we can support in a non-financial way also. Thank you so much, Steve.
You're welcome. Please, everybody, donate. ACS is a great organization and deserves our support.